What up, what up? The name is Dale, doing a quick review of Ghostface Killah's new album, Set the Tone, Guns N' Roses. I'm also going to do Conway the Machine's Slant Face Killah, give you 2 for 1. I haven't did a review in a long time, but since I've been doing the Old Heads podcast, thought I'd get back into doing reviews maybe a little. If life permits me to, don't get too busy and bogged down where I can't do one here and there. But I'm going to start off with Ghostface Killah now. Ghostface is in my top 10 hip-hop artists of all time. And I base my top 10, top 20, top 50, however you want to say it, based on catalog mostly. I mean, you got to be able to rap at a high level to be in the top 10. But it's based off catalog. I put a lot of emphasis, a lot of stock on how good your discography is, how good your albums, if you got classic, how many classics, how many borderline classics, how many good albums you have in your arsenal, so to speak. So Ghostface has more than enough material to be in my top 10 personally. He has one of the best albums to me of all time in hip hop with Supreme Clientele. I love that album. That's straight ugly face music. Listen to that joint to this day. His first solo album, Iron Man, is a borderline classic to me. Some people say it is a classic. He got good albums like Bulletproof Wallets, Fish Scale, you name it. Plus he got the Wu-Tang albums, the group joints, the first Wu-Tang album that he was a significant part of. The first joint, 36 Chambers, is a classic. They double album, Wu-Tang Forever, is a borderline classic. I mean, not a classic, but he's almost there with a few missteps, but it's almost there. So he got another good to very good group album in his collection, in his arsenal. But with this joint, Set the Tone, Guns N' Roses, I was very disappointed with this joint. I wasn't expecting a lot. I was kind of expecting to be like very solid at the best. How I normally rate albums that I think are quality. I got solid, very solid, good, very good. Very good is usually borderline classic. Then you got great, which is a classic. So I was expecting to be very solid, but I don't even know if I could say it's solid. It might be just okay. And I'm being kind with that because I'm a Ghostface Killah fan. And the first half of the album starts off pretty good. Like maybe the first 6 or 7 songs off the top of my head are pretty good. And then it just goes downhill. After the song he got with Kanye, which is the song I like, which is produced by the only producer I recognize is LP. LP, I forgot his name. I'm familiar with him, but I forgot his name. I think I wrote it down and shit, so I don't fucking forget. Easy LP. He was the only producer I recognize out of all the different producers that produced joints on his album. And he produced a joint with him and Kanye West. Kanye West is rapping on the joint. It's called No Face. It's like after that joint, the album goes down. He started getting to his joints for the ladies, which I don't have a problem with, which he has done in the past before, but the production is very like industry standard commercial type shit that you would have going on nowadays. And I don't know what the aim is. I know when you get to a certain age and he's in his 50s, you don't want to be rapping hardcore shit all the time. But I'm trying to figure out what was his aim. Was he trying to get the ladies to buy his album? Because I don't think the ladies gonna even know about these songs, because more than likely they're not gonna get any play on the radio, because radio tends to have a bias against older rappers for some reason. So I don't think he's gonna get any play with any of these joints. I don't think they're gonna get any play in the clubs because they're not gonna even know about them. So I don't know what his aim and point was. If his aim was to get new or different audience to stream his music, I don't know if that's going to do it. I think he should have just stuck to his core fan base and did what he normally does. I mean, he could have had some few girl joints, but he just got a string of lady joints for the ladies, and the production ain't really hitting. There's only one that I really like, and that's the joint he got with AZ. I forgot the name of that joint. The joint with AZ was nice. It's called Locked In. That joint was tight. But you know, he got some good joints on here to start the album off with. He got joints 6 Minutes with Jim Jones and Chic Luch. That joint is tight. Pair of Hammers, I believe that's the name, with Method Man. Method Man still got it. Every time he's on a feature, he just kills it. I think it's called Skate Odyssey, featuring October London. The dude that sings sound a little bit like Marvin Gaye. His album is pretty decent, by the way. It's pretty solid. And Raekwon is on that song. And that was the few standouts. He got a bonus song at the very end with Remy Ma. Forgot the name of it. It was just okay. It was on some hardcore shit, but it was just okay. Remy got her man on that joint though. She kind of stood out. I thought the album was pretty just okay. Just okay. You know, it's kind of disappointing. I thought maybe he got the joint with Nas. I like that joint. Scar Tissue, I believe that's the name of the joint. But I said, oh, he been on tour with Nas. They did the New York State of Mind tour. He seen Nas go on this 6-album run that was critically acclaimed. People seem to love most of the albums. I thought maybe that gave him put the batteries back. Oh, I could come back outside. I can come out and make another joint and be good and get the same kind of love he getting for these 6 joints. And I think he fell short. That's just how I saw it. He being on tour with Nas, seeing that Nas putting all these albums out, say, oh shit, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I could put me out a dope joint and people be feeling it, but it fell short. But it doesn't keep him from my top 10. He's still in my top 10. Your past is your past. He's done enough work, more than enough work to be in my top 10. But I have to say the last good album that Ghostface put out was Apollo Kids. And when did Apollo Kids come out? I think Apollo Kids came out 2010. I mean, he had a few solid joints in between 2010 and now. He had the joint, what was the joint? Ghostface Killers. It came out in 2019. That was solid. It was cool. He had 36 Seasons, which was more like a long ass story in the album form. That came out 2014. That was solid. The Lost Tapes joints that he did, that came out 2018. That was solid, but he hasn't had a good album since 2010, which was Apollo Kids. But I'm gonna move on to Conway the Machine, Slant Face Killah. And that was pretty cool. It was a disappointment, just a little disappointment. It feels like a typical Griselda joint. It feels like a typical Conway joint. Conway the Machine puts out so much material. It kind of bleeds into each other. It kind of feels like I'm listening to the last joint. He had an EP not too long ago with the conductor, the producer, the conductor. And then he had another EP right before that with 38 Special. And I feel like all the albums and all the projects, EPs and mixtapes kind of bleed into each other. You don't really get no different vibe from or different feel from it. So this album, it was just okay to me. It wasn't really groundbreaking. It didn't stick. You know, it got some highlights on there. It's better than the Ghostface joint, but it ain't that much better than the Ghostface joint. He got a joint with Stove Guard Cooks, which is pretty good. I like that joint. Forgot the name of the joint. He got a joint called Give and Give. I think Dre and Cool produced that joint. That joint is tight. He got Meth Back, which is featuring Method Man and Flea Lord. And that's pretty good. I like that joint. He got a track with Joey Badass, which is nice. But the production is just at times it's oh, that's tight, that's a tight beat. But overall I felt like half the production was just there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't nothing that blew you away. I think his best album still to this day is From a King to a God, which came out years ago. Not that long ago, but long enough. I think that's still his best album. And then you got If It Bleeds, It Can Be Killed. I think that was one of his better projects. So I think the Benny, the Butcher joint that came out earlier this year, Everyone Can Go, I think that was better than this, much better. So with that being said, I give it a solid. It's just hitting that solid for me range. But anyway, that's it. I'm done and I'm out. Oh, gotta do some shameless promotion, shameless plug. Get the Utopian Nights album that's all on streaming mostly everywhere. It's called, the name of the album is called Noble Savage. I got the shirt on representing. I did some production on there. I helped with production on like 3 songs, and I'm rapping on one joint. I'm a producer first and foremost, but I can rap a little bit. So I'm rapping on one of them joints, but I helped produce 3 other songs. So get that joint. You could say I helped executive produce the joint as well. Utopian Nights, Noble Savage. It's on streaming. Also another album I'm going to plug, do some shameless plugging. I helped do a lot of production on it. I would say I helped do like more than half of the production. The name of the artist is Ali the Terror. The name of the album is called The Chronics of Ali. I helped do probably like a little more than half of the production on that joint. I also rap on one joint. I can rap a little bit, but I'm a producer first and foremost. So that's on most streaming platforms, so you can get that joint. And I'm out.
Elevate your mind with high-quality THC-infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.